For jobs that are apart from the ordinary. Find them at St. Barnabas Health System.
Tune in to Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks on 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Frank will talk about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There's also music to get you started for the day. The show is brought to you by Patriot Home Care. So set your radio dial to 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP. We're streamed live on BeaverCountyRadio.com, so you can listen every morning on Beaver County Radio.
How do you assess your week of practice coming off of two disappointing and tough losses?
Yeah, Pat, we've had a good week like we normally do. I think our staff does a great job of getting our guys back and refocused on the next opponent. So, I think we're going to do.
We're back on Coach's Corner here on Beaver County Radio. It's a brand new studio. First time for Central Valley News Studios. I'm Mike Azadia alongside my longtime broadcast partner who was on were you on sabbatical last week or were you on assignment?
Assignment.
You were on assignment last week. Back
it sounds better.
Yeah, you were on assignment last week.
On assignment.
That sabbatical could be not having a baby or nothing, so got to be sabbatical. Got to be.
If I had a baby, that would be pretty
something.
big news.
You never know with science nowadays.
It's true.
It better not come out looking like you. But anyway, I'm just kidding. Hey, Pizza Joe's is our sponsor, bringing in the pizza for the guys. We got 4 Central Valley athletes here today, and we also have the head coach of Central Valley. It is Mark Lyons. Mark, welcome.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. We haven't talked to you. It was last year we talked to you mid-season. This year we had a pretty good, at least I had a pretty good feeling you would be a long playoff team, and we are right. You are in the semifinals with a win last week over Freeport. A lot of people thought Freeport had a pretty good shot. They had a decent team, but you guys handled them easily, and now this week you have Elizabeth Forward. It seems like you have your team playing and ready at the right time of the year.
Yeah, that's always the plan. We want to be playing our best football in November, and we talk about staying the process and hoping that you're still going out to practice when the leaves start to fall off the tree, and, we're getting into that November weather.
So this year, Central Valley, you've had years where you've run the table and you're first seed. You've been a lower seed. You've had years where you have a great running team. You have years where you have 2 or 3 superb NCAA Division I athletes. You have great defenses. And this year it was a little different. It's a solid team, but non-conference-wise, you had an unbelievably tough schedule. But you told me that non-conference schedule had made you guys better, and I believe it probably made the younger kids grow up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we didn't run from the schedule, so we just took it as a challenge. We wanted to make sure that no matter the outcome, and obviously, let me first clear that we wanted to win every football game.
Oh, of course you did.
Our guys were disappointed in coming on the short end, but it taught us some things. Taught a lot of things from a coaching standpoint, and there were some waters we never charted before from this program. And it really just kind of told everybody, listen, just be patient, stay the process. And it was a different way of getting where we wanted to be, but that's okay. It's I guess you're never too old to learn something new.
That's true, yeah. John.
When the schedule came out, though, and you looked at that schedule, I mean, I can't remember. Now, I'm sure there's probably somewhere that a team had that tough of a schedule. I mean, there wasn't an easy spot on there for you guys.
No, and again, we try to spin it and tell our guys that's kind of a respect for the program.
Yeah.
They feel that we can handle that type of schedule, and we never use it as an excuse. Sometimes, as you mentioned earlier, you have an easy exhibition schedule, and you start getting false hopes, false sense of security as far as how good you really are. Well, week 1 we found out how good we were, how poor we were playing in spots, what we needed to fix it, and that never changed for the next 4 weeks. So you want to talk about learning on the job and having on-the-job training. I think that was it.
Yeah, I'm just going to say on the flip side, Bill Parcells always said you are what your record is, but you weren't what your record was.
Yeah.
But in this case, how did you keep the kids' spirits up? Because like you said, nobody wants to lose,
Absolutely.
and to lose as many games as you did. for as good as you guys played, it had to be kind of a
Listen,
bit of
that's
a mental
great
thing.
question, especially today's kids, man. Everybody wants immediate feedback, immediate success. You know, it's hard to tell kids to be patient. They want that immediate feedback. You know, it's hard to say, hey, you're going to be a backup. You got to work your way into the lineup. So that's kind of the same thing if you look at it just from a team standpoint. And I think we just kept putting our minds down. We kind of changed how we practice a little bit. And again, I think it taught the coaches a lot of things also and how we want to approach things moving forward. And I'm just real ecstatic with this group of seniors, how they've handled it. And you know, they heard some of the noise. Yeah. Let's be honest, and you can't run from it. And I told them sometimes in life you can't run from it. The only thing you can do is face it, you know, head on.
After the start, then you go to McGuffey and have your way with them, and then in section you've got to play Beaver, Avonworth, North Catholic, and with yourself, that's 4 really good teams. And I always felt that 3 of the 4 teams, yourself, Beaver, and Avonworth, were 3 of the 4 best teams in 3A. The Beaver game was a very interesting game. You guys started off real strong and then held on, and that showed how good they were because they really played well the last quarter. And then you go to Avonworth, a tough, tight game there, and then North Catholic comes to your place and comes within 10 of you. So it was 6 of the first 7 games were just monster games. I mean, so a lot of coaches will say, hey, you know, I'd rather play these tough games. Being undefeated all the way is nice. That's tough to do. And like you said, false sense of security. But what did the team learn once in section? They knew then that they were a good team, I'm guessing.
I mean, you know, let me use an old adage, iron sharpens iron. And
there you go.
We were getting sharpened.
Yeah.
Sometimes not by choice, but we were getting sharpened. I tell you, the hidden stat for us, we played a lot of snaps. And there's one thing to play a lot of snaps. We played a lot of intense snaps from first quarter to the fourth quarter. You know, as you mentioned earlier, there's times where we played a half a game for the first 4 or 5 weeks. We were fresh. So we also had to recognize where our guys were physically, not only mentally, but physically. So we had to balance that. We had to get their legs back under. And, you know, when we finally got to a spot where we earned a playoff spot and able to earn a home field and a bye, if there was ever a perfect time for a bye, I think we were the first in line to volunteer for that because, you know, there's some schools, and I was on the flip side of that. I don't know, a bye was sometimes a good idea because you're playing so well, but for us, it was very welcome.
That brings up another good question. With yourself, with Beaver, with Avonworth, Beaver beat Avonworth, Avonworth beat you, you guys beat Beaver. It was a 3-way tie for the championship, and it was the WPL's decision of who they were going to seed and where. Now, you guys got the 2 seed. I think a lot of that, as good as you played in the section, but you guys came within a play of beating all those teams non-conference, and you guys got the 2 seed. Now, I know Avonworth was pretty upset that they didn't get a higher seed. And you saw what they did against Beaver. And we did that game. They
absolutely
stomped them. Beaver thought they should have been seeded higher too. But when you have 3 really good teams in a conference and probably one of the best conferences in the WPL, somebody's going to get seeded 7, someone's going to get 2, someone's going to get 5. That's just the way it is. But I think you guys earned where you got.
Well, and I guess it also fit in with the new approach from the WPIL. They went strictly with seeding based on the body of work.
Yes.
They took in some other considerations. Not like in the old days, 1 seed, 4 was a 4 seed. It was kind of played itself out. They wanted a little more autonomy with it, the WPL, to kind of use like they do in the NCAA tournament and look at your body of work. Look at, not that you can always control that, but you should get rewarded for that. And listen, it could be on a flip side too.
Sure.
You can have a bad loss, but you can also have a good loss or a good win. So how it played out, I think the WPL wanted that control. And let's face it, I think the WPL also wanted control of the exhibition schedules.
Right.
To kind of give some balance to some of the teams that can handle
and
that
better
type of
games in
schedule.
the exhibition schedules too.
100%.
Because some exhibition games in the past, they're over at half, and it's like no intrigue, no fun.
I
It's
couldn't
like,
agree with you more.
you know,
So with everything the WPL wanted to accomplish, from exhibition to the seedings, I think that's how we ended up.
John?
How much at this time of year does tradition matter? Knowing what you've accomplished in the past, and I realize that's a separate season, but knowing what you won state title, WPIL title, conference. I mean, how much do you think that the kids take that to heart and realize, like, hey, this is our time of the year?
It's funny you asked that, John, because we're warming up for the Freeport game Friday night, and one of my longtime assistants, even back in Monaca, Sean McCrary, he goes, our guys are pretty amped up in pregame, and we usually don't do that. We're pretty business-like. He goes, boy, I sure hope it carries over. And I said, listen, Sean, I said, the one thing our guys they're smart enough, they've been around it, they grew up around it. So to answer your question, when they see it every Friday, they're hanging on the fence, they're walking along the runway with the varsity guys, they don't forget when it's their time. And so they put that kind of responsibility on their shoulders. And I think if you talk to any good program, you talk to the TJs, the Eloquibba, it sells itself, and there is a responsibility.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you a little bit about last week's game, the win over Freeport. I know you had 200-yard rushers, and I read your comments after the game. You really thought that you guys did very well up front on both sides of the line. Just, I know the linemen don't get a lot of credit a lot of times, but it seems like they deserve a whole ton of credit for that win on Friday night.
Yeah, I think we kind of, after watching them on film, and we met Monday for our scouting report and delivered it to the players, we stressed to them immediately that, our advantage is up front. And it has to be our advantage, and we have to make it our advantage. So our guys welcome that. I think that group, they fly under the radar like most offensive lines in football in general. But our guys understand their importance. We got great leadership. I think they're starting to get comfortable with each other. And I think our running backs and our quarterbacks are all, I think we're peaking at the right time, which is a nice thing, especially as a coach, to see that come together. So, yeah, we kind of put it on their shoulders going into the Freeport game.
We're going to take our first break. Want to remind you, listeners and viewers on YouTube, that Pizza Joe's, one of our fine sponsors, and they're one of the pizza places now that is offering the pickle pizza. We still have not tried it. I know they say pickle brine helps with the leg cramps, and we're talking that for a lot of people, but we've not tried the pickle pizza yet. But Pizza Joe's has more than that. They've got specialty pizzas. They've got calzones, subs, everything. We're going to be back, talk to Mark Lyons just a little bit more on our next segment. We're going to take a break right here on Beaver County Radio.
This is Mitch Carver from Carver Construction. Playing a great football game takes teamwork, great leaders, and great individuals. As a former high school football coach myself, I know what it takes to win. I apply these same qualities to Carver Construction in New Brighton. Satisfying customers isn't anything new at Carver. We've been doing it since 1982 for both residential and commercial renovations. I'm behind every job we do, so I can guarantee you that every time you deal with us, you win. Call us or visit us at our website at carverconstructionpa.com.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
What's up, folks? This is Maurice Trent, and I'm a Blackhawk Cougar. Well, it's true that when it's game time, we might be on different sides. It's the other team that we were all a part of that will make it real difference once the season's over.
If you're an employer, what do you look for in a prospective new hire? A proven track record is usually the #1 trait. For 46 years now, the Beaver County Career and Technology Center has been creating the workforce that has shaped Western Pennsylvania industry and service sector enterprises. It's the program with proven experience that employers know they can count on when they need to fill their workforce. Enroll your child or grandchild at the known quantity among educators and business leaders alike for 4 decades. The Beaver County Career and Technology Center. Signing up through your local public school is easy and can give your student the ability, in many cases, to make more money in certain fields than college graduates. Free career training at Beaver County Career and Technology Center is the perfect choice. Visit bcctc.org.
This is Andy Toole, men's basketball coach at Robert Morris University, here to talk about my friends at Falcone Moon Township Ford. I know what it takes to win a basketball game. It begins with practice and a team of players who want to win. The same is true of the team at Moon Township Ford. Professionals who will win you over. They'll find the best rate and terms on a car loan to help you get the best deal. Make a fast break and avoid the roadblocks that stop you from finding the car you want. Go where I go. Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Looking for a fall activity for your children? Pass and score your way into the Beaver County YMCA's Youth Soccer League. The league will teach the basic fundamentals of soccer. There will be one practice a week teaching drills and skills. This soccer league is for kids ages 5 through 12 and runs from September 10th to October 19th. Registration is already open. To register, go to beavercountyymca.org.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
If your group or organization wants to look like a winner, upgrade your public message, signs, banners, vehicle wraps, and lettering, and other branding platforms with a makeover from Signs Made Fast. Wherever there are people, you need a sign, and it needs to look good. An old, faded, outdated logo or weathered sign on the front of your business damages your good reputation. Turn it around today. Create the perception of a winner. Visit signsmadefast.us or call 724-774-8267.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
If you like stuffing, this is your favorite time of the year. This is Cindy Haladio from Friendly Federal Credit Union. I like stuffing too, especially when it comes to stuffing your wallet with cash. Forget the fancy Thanksgiving recipes. I suggest a visit to Friendly Federal Credit Union. Apply for a holiday loan today to stuff your pocketbook before holiday shopping. Based on credit approval, Friendly Federal Credit Union, member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Make your dream of a college degree a reality at Community College of Beaver County. CCBC offers 10 pathways to success, including health sciences, criminal justice, industrial technology, business, and more. Start at CCBC and finish your career or get transfer ready, all at a realistic cost. Enroll today, ccbc.edu.
How would you like to make the holidays a little better? This is Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union with a Christmas wish for you. Make the holiday the one you've always dreamed of with a visit to Freedom United Federal Credit Union. While you're there, register to win a Christmas breakfast tray from Cafe Colache in Beaver. That's right, get the money you need, plus a delicious holiday breakfast for you and your family just by doing business with Freedom United Federal Credit Union. The interest really is in you at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA, equal housing lender.
Want the ultimate cigar experience? Fat Boys Cigars Premium Tobacco Shop and Smoking Lounge is located off of 376 in Center Township. Fat Boys Cigars offers all your cigar needs with an assortment of some of the finest cigars, including small batch boutique cigars and over 21 aromatic pipe tobacco blends and accessories. Stop and see their luxurious lounge accommodations. Book them for your next event. Visit their social media page for a list of event dates and times. Welcome to the Fat Boys World, Beaver County.
At Geneva College, your academic experience will prepare you with exceptional expertise in your chosen field. But what you'll learn is so much more than just that. Integrating faith and learning, you'll grow to see God's purpose and calling in your life's work. You'll be challenged to imagine how the world around you could be different and what your part might be in making that difference. You were made to live courageously. Visit geneva.edu today.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach's Corner right here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Carver Construction, the St. Barnabas Health System, Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Falcone's Moon Township Board, the YMCA, Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Program, Fried Transportation Group, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, the Community College of Beaver County, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fat Boy Cigars, Geneva College, and Beaver County Radio.
We're back on Coach's Corner, or off air. We're talking social media and all that fun stuff. Their social media. YouTube, if you're watching, hello, everybody. And thank you for listening. We're with head coach Mark Lyons, and soon we're going to be joined by some of his players, some of the senior captains. And before we go on, through 2 rounds, Beaver County and the listening area teams, that counts Olsh, Moon, Elwood City, 7-10 overall. So it's not been a great year for Beaver County. Beaver 1-out, Aliquippa 1-1, Western Beaver lost their first, Olsh lost their first, Rochester, Moon. A lot of teams made it, but one of the teams left, and only 2 Beaver County, listening area teams left, Central Valley and Elwood City. And, Mark, that's something that happens sometimes. Some years we get 7-8 teams still alive. This year it's 2. So high school athletics, it's different than college. It's different than the pros. You're always going to have a new group of seniors. You're always going to have new groups of kids coming up from the junior high program. But your program has always been consistent, a consistent running team, consistent on the lines, consistent on defense. Is that something that, you've made with your program, strong in the lines, that way you can be strong at other positions? Is that grow from the lines out?
Well, obviously, first let me say what a great story, and congratulations to Elwood City.
Dan Bradley, yeah.
I mean, that's pretty neat. I mean, they win their first playoff game in 40 years? Mm-hmm. I mean, so hats off. Best of luck to them.
And I flipped a coin, either you or him or you this week. I took you guys, and he's going to probably try to come next week.
Well, appreciate it. But anyways, hats off to the Elwood City program and Coach Bradley. But getting back to your question, I don't care how football evolves, and it evolves many ways, and it has for hundreds of years since the game's been played. And there's going to be some new fads always coming in, but the one common thread is you still got to be able to line up and block someone, and you got to still be able to line up and tackle someone. So I think that the teams that consistently do well, and you just look at those programs, they've always established a core of a running game that is strong year in and year out. They kind of built out for inside out from there, and then put the rest of the pieces. But that's something we try to do. We've taken the adage since day one. We got to be able to run the ball and stop the run, and both on each side of the ball. And that's where we always start. And then we'll just how far we're able to build out is how well we're able to do that first.
And I remember it might have been you that told me years ago when you were at Monaca or someone else. And now, since then, every coach says this. I asked a question once, would you rather start the year with a solid line intact and new running backs, or the superstar running back and brand new line? And everybody says, start with the line.
Sure.
Because once that's gelled, a lot of kids got speed you could teach to run. And, of course, the superstar running back would do good, but if he has nobody blocking for him.
100%.
Agreed. And that's something that the old adage, and plus you have to also block for your quarterback, because you can't have him running around back there. You got to be set to throw, at least a couple seconds.
That's right. And like I said, that's where we start. And it just allows us to branch off and expand our offense if we're solidify that play, that area, that core group.
John?
In that vein, when you're playing this time of year, we've been way through November, and you've played into December at Central Valley. And I realize there's a lot of turf fields now, so the field conditions aren't maybe as bad as they used to be at this time of year. But is it still important when you get into this late in the year to know that, hey, if we got to throw 40 times a game and there's a driving rainstorm or there's 6 inches of snow, it's going to be hard to do that.
Yeah, John, you're correct. I mean, and then you throw in the wind. You know, you get a lot of these crisp nights, clear nights. The wind kicks up. And again, you know, you got to be able to just to run the ball because, let's face it, you're going to run into some juggernauts of programs that, you know, you have to kind of keep the ball away from their great offense. And you can't strain your defense. And, you know, that's really our game plan going into this week against Elizabeth Forward. You know, we want to try to keep the ball out of their offense. They score a lot of points. Mm-hmm. They do a great job. They got a great running game in themselves. So, you know, we'd like to get on top, shorten the game, take the air out of the ball a little bit, and just kind of you know, slow this pace down.
Mm-hmm. And also, how good is it? I mean, to get this far, you need to have one good running back. Mm-hmm. Very rarely you have two really good running backs, and Jance Henry and Mason Dixon. How great of a luxury is that to have two guys that you know anytime you give them the ball, they can make a big play?
Yeah, we're fortunate. Let me say that. And you know, they just had a great article about both of them, and you know, they're both each other's biggest fan. They push one another. It's not about how many touches they get. It's just about how well the running game does a whole. You know, I'd be remiss if not talking about Mason Dixon, our senior captain. You know, there's a young man that you're finally starting to see a young high school athlete play healthy. He's been nagged since his sophomores and junior years with shoulder surgeries. He's gone through 2 of them, and he finally, you know, the second one kind of really got him right. And you're just seeing a kid who's just having fun and seeing what he has missed. And that's why he's just taking his game to another level. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Jance Henry, young, you know, as a sophomore, his game has progressed. So they really, not only do they complement each other well, they respect each other's game. And it's a great 1-2 punch.
Let's talk a little bit about the Central Valley community. Every time I go to a game, I think I'm coming early, and I'm coming at 5:15, and there's people lined up in the parking lot with their fold-back chairs. And when I get into the stadium, there's the same people in the same places, and you guys have the big flags, sometimes the fire engines, the young kids coming onto the field with you guys stroll down, and it's always a packed crowd. And it's been that way. It's a special community, and it's Monaca and Center, and it just seems to be every year it gets better and better. I go to games and I look and there's nowhere to sit. You guys have really got a good following, and you got a lot of support for the kids.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it's a great community. They value football. They, you know, our student body's involved Friday nights. You know, the one thing I always look at programs, and this is the one thing I'm very proud of, is not only the success our football team has had, but just how many students are involved in Friday night, from band to the student section to the drum majors, everything, cheerleaders. That's the way high school should be. I mean, Friday night, it's high school football. Sometimes we lose that fabric. That's where everybody should go home, grab dinner, and there's nowhere else to go but at a high school football game.
That's the way it used to be.
That's the way it used to be. That's where we need to get it back to. So, you know, we try to create that atmosphere in that way so everybody has a part in Friday night, not just us. And we do have a great support. It's funny you brought that up. Talking to Sam, our Sercona, our athletic director.
Sammy.
He's had to kind of juggle some things. He thought about maybe having to lock the gates because people were coming while gym classes were out on the turf during gym class. People were already setting up for Friday night at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I chuckle because one of them is probably my sister and her husband. You know, ever since I've been coaching, she's always the first one in the stands.
Okay.
And so if I'd had to tell her that gate would lock, she would be highly upset. So I had to kind of just tongue-in-cheek laugh to that. But Sam makes it work, and we make it work.
Well, I've seen different schools tailgating and early at games, and not just pros and college, but some high school programs as well. you mentioned the community and the kids. Let's go back to, let's say, the classification. In the playoffs, you've got Imani Christian, the number 1 seed. Everybody knows they're a really good team. Avonworth still left, yourself, Elizabeth Forward. But good teams like Beaver have been knocked out early. Freeport, North Catholic, who you played, and they're a lot better than they were seeded number 11. So I felt the 3A, 5A, 2A, the 3 best classifications, there were a lot of good playoff teams. To make the playoffs in 3A, you had to have a really good season.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I thought the group as a whole, the playoff seeding in 3A was kind of condensed. I thought everybody had a chance to beat one another. And I with sincerity there, that on any given night, that playoff game, it was going to be a possible upset here or there, and you saw some. You saw North Catholic, obviously, upset a higher, lower seed, them coming as 11th seed, as you said. So, when you build the playoffs that way, and, not to jump ahead, but that's what the 6 classifications, I think, allowed the state and the districts to do, is to, when you got to the playoffs, to make them a lot more competitive and balanced.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You talked about time at Central Valley. You've been the only head coach there since the merger, and you've been doing this a long time now. What keeps you at it? What keeps you?
Good question.
What makes it still fun for you to want to do this every year?
A couple things, and I kind of love answering that question. Because now you get to that point where that question becomes a little bit closer to, that point, John. And we all at some point got to walk away. One, I always ask myself, are our players still hearing the message?
Yeah.
Are they still responding? I always say to myself, I'm not going to be that guy that hangs on it's not fair to our kids. If they're still buying in and hearing the message, and the message can't become stale. So that's a challenge on me. The message got to kind of change with the kids. So one, I always judge that. And two, if I don't love Saturday mornings, and Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, putting that together and seeing how I can take that group of players on a Monday and get them to execute something on Friday.
Okay.
If I lose that excitement, that's probably, it's time. Do I enjoy the game? Sure I do.
Of course you do.
But the process that goes along with it, we were talking about just today before practice. I said, I don't know if I can watch any more film.
Yeah.
And, it's just hours and hours of just kind of finding that one thing that would gain an advantage. I still love doing that. And so to answer your question, when those things start to kind of deteriorate, and then I know it's time.
Spoken like a true teacher.
That's
Want
it.
to see your team.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if I'm not reaching my students in my classroom, and my students that come in every day, if they don't leave with a smile and wanting to come back into science class every day, it's time that Mr. Lyons moves on from teaching 6th grade science.
It's a good thing we're about the same age, because I don't know if I would want to come back to science class with a smile on my face, even as much as I like you and know you so well.
Well, we're about ready for another break. We're going to hear from some of the student athletes coming up from Central Valley. As a reminder, Pizza Joe's, our fine sponsor. Can't wait to have a few, if there's any left, after the young men eat. We're going to take another break here on Coach's Corner.
Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall, in love that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
This is Mitch Carver from Carver Construction. Playing a great football game takes teamwork, great leaders, and great individuals. As a former high school football coach myself, I know what it takes to win. I apply these same qualities to Carver Construction in New Brighton. Satisfying customers isn't anything new at Carver. We've been doing it since 1982 for both residential and commercial renovations. I'm behind every job we do, so I can guarantee you that every time you deal with us, you win. Call us or visit us at our website at carverconstructionpa.com.
This is Andy Toole, men's basketball coach at Robert Morris University, here to talk about my friends at Falcone Moon Township Ford. I know what it takes to win a basketball game. It begins with practice and a team of players who want to win. The same is true of the team at Moon Township Ford. Professionals who will win you over. They'll find the best rate and terms on a car loan to help you get the best deal. Make a fast break and avoid the roadblocks that stop you from finding the car you want. Go where I go. Moon Township Ford.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Looking for a fall activity for your children? Pass and score your way into the Beaver County YMCA's Youth Soccer League. The league will teach the basic fundamentals of soccer. There will be one practice a week teaching drills and skills. This soccer league is for kids ages 5 through 12 and runs from September 10th to October 19th. Registration is already open. To register, go to beavercountyymca.org.
You know, I've heard people refer to older veteran athletes as being all washed up. Well, quite frankly, that's a rather nice compliment if you ask me. This is the Aquaman of Beaver County, Jim Riggio from the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority. When you hear something like that, you have to consider the source of the water, that is. After all, getting washed up with Beaver Falls Municipal Authority water can't be a bad thing. That's because for over 80 years, we've made it possible for everyone to feel washed up, even if they are not star athletes. Click bfwater.net.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
If your group or organization wants to look like a winner, upgrade your public message, signs, banners, vehicle wraps, and lettering, and other branding platforms with a makeover from Signs Made Fast. Wherever there are people, you need a sign, and it needs to look good. An old, faded, outdated logo or weathered sign on the front of your business damages your good reputation. Turn it around today. Create the perception of a winner. Visit signsmadefast.us or call 724-774-8267.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Make your dream of a college degree a reality at Community College of Beaver County. CCBC offers 10 pathways to success, including health sciences, criminal justice, industrial technology, business, and more. Start at CCBC and finish your career or get transfer ready, all at a realistic cost. Enroll today, ccbc.edu.
How would you like to make the holidays a little better? This is Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union with a Christmas wish for you. Make the holiday the one you've always dreamed of with a visit to Freedom United Federal Credit Union. While you're there, register to win a Christmas breakfast tray from Cafe Colache in Beaver. That's right, get the money you need, plus a delicious holiday breakfast for you and your family just by doing business with Freedom United Federal Credit Union. The interest really is in you at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach's Corner right here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Carver Construction, the St. Barnabas Health System, Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Falcone's Moon Township Board, the YMCA, Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Program, Fry Transportation Group, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, the Community College of Beaver County, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fat Boy Cigars, Geneva College, and Beaver County Radio.
All right, back here on Coach's Corner. Let me adjust my collar a little bit. Off camera, they're making fun of me, so gotta talk about it here. We're at Coach's Corner at Central Valley. The Warriors going to be in the semifinals this Friday night against Elizabeth Ford at Montour High School, I believe, isn't it, guys?
Yep. Yes, sir.
We are joined by two of those young men, two seniors, two of the senior captains. The other two will come on left. It'll be to the right, to the left. Can't tell my left from right. To the left is Stephen Rutherford, 2-year quarterback starter. And to his left, it is Tyler Ondrusik, senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman, 3-year starter. Fellas, welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Beautiful. How about that? In unison.
In unison.
Yeah.
Did you practice that at the end of practice?
Yeah, we practiced it.
Okay, all right.
So, guys, we've been doing this all year long. With three years now, me and John, we've had a lot of good groups. So you guys have a lot to live up to. And last year, one of our best shows was Central Valley. We had a lot of your guys last year and had a lot of fun with them. But you guys are seniors now. You got named captains. Was it a vote of the team? Was it the coaches? Who made you guys captains?
So yeah, the team votes on it. Everybody gets to vote, and it has to be a senior.
Mhm.
So coming up this year, I knew that I had the
You had a
option to
chance.
be that. Yeah, so that I was looking forward to that and hoping that my teammates would,
So you were looking forward to being a
Yeah.
captain. Well, quarterback, a lot of times, whether you want to be or not, you're going to be named captain. But, Stephen, let's ask you first. I mean, what's it mean to you to be named a captain by your teammates? And it's not just like 10 kids. It's a lot of kids that vote.
Yeah, it means I have to be a leader on and off the field.
Mhm.
Even if they see me off the field, I have to be a leader and show them how to respect others and just be kind.
Before I get to Tyler, are you the kind of leader that's rah-rah, or are you a vocal leader, or are you a quiet, by-example leader?
I'm more of a by-example leader and just show them how hard work and dedication can lead to success.
Seems like almost everybody this year, John, has been the quiet leader.
Yeah.
Tyler, how about you? Are you more of the quiet leader, or are you the kind of guy that's grabbing face masks and straightening guys out if you have to?
I'll be honest. I can definitely be a little bit of both.
Good.
It all depends on the mood I'm in. I mean, if we get me on game day, I'm bouncing off the walls a little bit. So I'll start grabbing people and getting into it.
So being you started for a couple of years, being you're in a position of importance on the offensive and defensive line, did you feel that you were going to be a captain, or you kind of weren't sure if you were going to be or not?
I definitely, there was a thought in my head that thought I had the chance of being captain, but I feel like, it's always up to my team, and I just wanted to show my team before we voted that I can be a leader that can lead them into battle every week.
Now, Tyler, you've been doing this now. You're a senior. How do you feel when, a couple thousand people or more at Central Valley, you're running out of the tunnel, you've got half the student body there, a lot of people in the community. It's really loud. How do you feel coming out there with the lights and how loud it is on a Friday night?
I mean, nothing beats it. I mean, 3 years I've been doing it, and it never gets old. I love it every year, looking up into the stands, taking in the moment. It's great. I'm grateful for it.
So that's a good feeling. But, Stephen, the second best feeling has to be a win at home, has to be a great feeling. You've been a part of some big wins at home and some big wins at home this year. What's it like after you guys win a game?
Yeah, it's great having the community behind us, and just after the win, everybody's happy, and it's just a great time in the whole community.
Johnny?
Stephen, you guys were given a extremely difficult schedule by the WPIL this year, and you lost, your record, you lost some games to some teams that clearly were very, very good. Yeah. How did the morale stay high? I mean, everyone wants to win every game, to know that you're better than what your record was showing.
Yeah, we had to learn how to be mentally tough and get through all the different obstacles that we had to overcome, and it started out a little rough, and we had to come together as a group and as a team and just overcome that and learn how to be together.
Tyler, I'll ask you the same thing. How did you guys come together? Was there one thing in particular that sparked it, or?
It was definitely difficult at times. There were moments where even I felt down, but we realized that our record doesn't reflect the team we are, and we knew we had special talent hidden, and we knew as the season kept going along we had to grind it out, and we have. And I want to give a shout out to our running back coach, Coach Larry. There was not a moment, any practice, any lift, or anything where he seemed down about anything. He always kept everybody's spirits high, even when nobody else's was. And I think, he really showed me and Stephen, and the rest of the captains how to lead by example to that. So we picked up on that after our first, 2 or 3 losses, and we really were able to distribute that back out into the team, and that's really what's kept us going so far.
Yeah, and you get to the playoffs now, and it must felt like you were in the playoffs since the first game of the season. Yeah. But the fact that, you guys grew up watching Central Valley now, you've been part of it for a long time. The tradition part, knowing the expectations and kind of following in other people's footsteps, does that, especially this time of year when you're playing for a championship, you're trying to, go all the way and win the state ideally, does that help that you can draw on that from previous years and know what the standard is?
Yeah, so we've had high expectations, and we know that. So we have to just go head first into that pressure and just come in every week knowing that we can handle it and we've done it before, and just follow in the footsteps of the previous years.
Tyler, how much fun is it to be in these playoffs now and just knowing how important they are and what the possible reward at the end could be? And
I mean, it's great. Like, I firsthand, not necessarily playing wise, but I got to experience a state championship my freshman year, and I've realized how great of a feeling that was from the sidelines. Yeah. I just want it to be even more better being a part of the game. So I want to. That's definitely the goal I'm chasing, and I know a lot of these other guys are chasing that same goal too, because like you've said, people have grown up watching CV football. I'd say our whole team has, and that's all we strive for is that state championship.
Guys, let's talk a couple other things. Let's ask some different questions, non-football. Every Friday, usually from what I see in basketball and football, the students have a theme. What would your favorite student theme be that you've seen? I mean, I've seen them all: Cowboys, American flag, everything. What do you guys give your student body credit for? What's the most fun thing you've seen?
My personal favorite is the whiteout. Everybody shows up in all white. And
okay.
I like the way it looks, and everybody's excited about it.
Tyler?
I mean, the best one I've seen, I always love the USA one, just because I see dudes and, American flag, jumpers, they got the flags flying around, everybody's face is painted. I really love how they get into it for that one.
So, Tyler, I'll ask you this first. You're an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman. Would you rather lay the guy out on the defensive line and pave the way for your running back to score a game-winning touchdown to win a championship, or would you rather be the defensive lineman that stops a guy at the goal line and win the title?
I got to go with the defensive line. I've always enjoyed the defensive line more, especially getting through a game-winning tackle. That would be surreal.
Now, Steven, you're a quarterback. I'm guessing you've played some defense in your life as well. But
I've
now,
got on the field a couple of times this year.
Right. I mean, so same question. I mean, obviously, as a quarterback, I'm kind of guessing you'd rather score the touchdown or throw the touchdown pass. But maybe you've got some defense in you. You'd rather be on defense. What would you rather do?
Yeah, I have a little bit of defense in me, but I would love to throw the game-winning touchdown. That would feel great.
Have you ever bothered Coach to go out there and play more defense?
A little bit. I've been getting more playing time this year, so that's been better.
Yeah, but you can't get your QB hurt. There's no doubt. Let's talk about what you guys do away from sports. Let's say that you've got a free Friday night. Let's say in a month and a half or whenever. State championships are over. Now it's Friday night. It's Saturday night. There's no more football. What do you do to relax? What do you do to have fun, Tyler?
So in a month and a half from now, school ends and I'd probably go hit the gym, but shout out to my guys. I'd probably go watch the basketball game later. I got a lot of good buddies on that team.
There you go. Then if you see me doing a game, you got to come and say hi.
Absolutely.
Steven, what do you?
I'll probably be on the golf course.
Golfer? You got a golf team too?
No, I haven't been on the golf team, but I love golfing in my free time and with my family and friends.
All right, good.
Where do you play at?
It depends. I'll play anywhere. But Rolling Acres is pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I know you got Elizabeth Forward on Friday night, and no team makes it this far without being very good. What have been asking both you guys? Well, from seeing them on film and everything, what kind of game do you expect from them this week?
I definitely expect a good game. My freshman year, we played them in the same situation, Whippeal semifinal game, and I'd always love to repeat that kind of game, but I definitely know it's going to be a hard game. One in the trenches and the backfield. They got some dudes. I'm buddies with one of their guys who's a great athlete. He's a stellar player, and I know it's coming, and I feel like we've prepared ourselves pretty well this week, and I'm just looking forward to it.
It seemed like last week, Freeport's pretty good, and you guys handled them. Was that maybe your best game of the year or close to the best game you guys have played, do you think, Steven?
Yeah, so coming off that bye week, we had a lot of time to prepare and just really focus on ourselves and not worry about everything else. So we went back to the fundamentals in practice and just really came together as a group and I believe that was one of our best performances as a whole together. I feel like we really came together.
I know, and this is for either or both of you, everyone kind of likes to get in that rhythm of playing every week.
Yeah.
But how good was it to be able to catch your breath for a week and maybe just heal up some minor injuries and things like that? And
Yeah, after the schedule we had, it was nice to have a little break and just come back together and focus on the fundamentals.
Yeah, that bye week. I mean, as you mentioned before, our strength of schedule was rough. I won't lie about that. And that bye week, I feel like the week we had of practice on the bye week, because we practiced during the bye week, and the week of practice leading up to the Freeport game was the 2 best weeks of practice we've had all year. I mean, the energy was back. Everybody had their legs back. I mean, everybody was really into it, and it showed Friday night. Everybody had the momentum coming.
All right, guys, last couple questions before we get to your teammates. First, Tyler, you want to say hello to anybody?
Shout out my family, Mom, Dad, Ethan, and all my grandparents and aunts and uncles. Love you guys.
Okay, how about you, Steven?
Yeah, I'll shout out my parents and my whole family. Appreciate you watching.
There you go. And last question. You guys are seniors. You got a little bit more than half a year left as your senior year. Start with you, Tyler. What are your plans after your senior season? College, work, trade school? What are you planning on doing?
My plans are to continue at a 4-year college, actually playing track and field. I'm a big-time shot put thrower.
Okay.
And it's definitely my other love besides football. And I've had great success in there, too, so I've been given some great opportunities to go compete in college.
Any schools you're looking at, or is it still too early?
It's still pretty early. I still have my indoor and outdoor season ahead of me, but my 2 top schools right now are Bucknell and St. Francis. So
Beautiful.
I'm really grateful for the position I'm in.
And what are you going to study when you go to school? What's your plan?
Finance.
All right, Steven, how about you?
I'm looking at going to the University of Dayton and majoring in mechanical engineering.
Okay. Good for you.
Yep.
Play any sports or just going to go for education?
I might do some club sports, but mostly for the education.
Okay. All right, good. Good for you, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to come back with 2 more of the Central Valley Warriors and come back for our final segment right here on Beaver County Radio.
Want the ultimate cigar experience? Fat Boy Cigars Premium Tobacco Shop and Smoking Lounge is located off of 376 in Center Township. Fat Boy Cigars offers all your cigar needs with an assortment of some of the finest cigars, including small batch boutique cigars and over 21 aromatic pipe tobacco blends and accessories. Stop and see their luxurious lounge accommodations. Book them for your next event. Visit their social media page for a list of event dates and times. Welcome to the Fat Boys world, Beaver County.
At Geneva College, your academic experience will prepare you with exceptional expertise in your chosen field. But what you'll learn is so much more than just that. Integrating faith and learning, you'll grow to see God's purpose and calling in your life's work. You'll be challenged to imagine how the world around you could be different and what your part might be in making that difference. You were made to live courageously. Visit geneva.edu today.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach's Corner right here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Carver Construction, the St. Barnabas Health System, Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Falcone's Moon Township Board, the YMCA, Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Program, Fried Transportation Group, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, the Community College of Beaver County, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fat Boy Cigars, Geneva College, and Beaver County Radio.
All right, we're back. Our last segment, we are with Mikey Bentekovic. He is to the far right. He's in the gray sweatshirt. Next to him, Mason Dixon. Mason is senior running back linebacker, and Mikey is an offensive lineman. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So, you guys grew up watching this program as your teammates did, and have seen a successful program from the time you were little. And what was it like growing up, watching the kids ahead of you, knowing that you had hopes to play on a high school team someday? Mikey?
It was really cool, just being a little kid, being there, in the stands and watching all these kids that you look up to and now being in their shoes. It's really different, and you want to work hard in their honor, and you just want to be your best as well.
Mason, same question to you. Now, you're a skill position guy, running back. You've seen some pretty good skill position players ahead of you, guys like Robert Foster and other guys. And did you grow up looking at those guys saying, I want to be them someday?
Absolutely. I mean, every Friday I was at the game watching them, wishing I could be them. And it's crazy that I'm that guy now. It's real.
So you're both seniors and leaders, and what was it like? And I asked the same question I asked your teammates. What was it like when you got named to be a senior? Yeah, there's 12 seniors, but you may not get named to be a captain. Did you kind of expect it, or were you thinking you had a chance at it at all, Mikey?
I mean, our whole senior class are really great kids.
Yeah.
And I knew I probably had a chance, but it was a surprise, a little bit to me. I'm happy I got it, and I love leading these kids and all of our other athletes, that we have. And it was an honor for
Mason, how about you? How'd you feel when you got to be named captain?
I mean, same as Mike. It was an honor, that my teammates think that highly of me. I just have to keep doing a good job of leading them and being an example setter.
John?
I wanted to ask you guys about your win on Friday night against Freeport. I know Coach Lyons said, and it's for you, Mikey, as a lineman, that he thought the key to the game was how you dominated on both sides of the line. How for a lineman, I mean, you got your name in the paper, and that doesn't happen too often for a lineman. I mean, how good did it feel to get that kind of recognition and people see, like, wow, these guys really made a difference?
Yeah, it's really great. It's something remarkable. I just, you never think you're going to be in that position, especially as a lineman. We work hard, we're in the trenches, and you don't always get the recognition, and it's just an amazing feeling to have your name somewhere like that.
And what's it like to block for the guys you have, like Mason and Jance and the other guys too? I mean, it's got to be a good feeling, though, if you carry out your assignment, there's a good chance it's going to be a pretty big play.
Yeah, it's a really great feeling to block that guy that might be in their way, and you don't know what's happening because they're behind you, but once you see that they've made that big play or got that touchdown, it's an awesome feeling to know that you helped in getting them there.
Yeah. Mason, I want to ask you, too. You went over 1,000 yards on Friday night, had a good night, Chance did. How much did the linemen, how good was it to run behind those guys knowing that they were clearing holes for you?
I mean, I always say without my line, there would be no me. So, they're a big part. We work hard in practice. They work hard. They grind. And, without the line, I wouldn't have any of the success that I have.
I was going to say, I know it's a team game, but you did have 195 yards in a playoff game, and that's a pretty impressive number of yards against good competition like that. How proud were you of just the way you played last Friday?
I mean, yeah, I was pretty proud of myself, but, I don't really focus on the yardage or anything. I just go out and play ball, and I just try and have fun and ultimately win. So however that looks like, whether I have 0 yards or 1,000 yards, I just want to win.
Guys, let me ask you, first, Tyler, what is probably in your 4 years, what's the most important thing you've learned from Coach Lyons?
He's taught us how to be, young adults and speak our minds, and he's really taught us how to lead as an example, and that you have to speak up and say, like, let's go, guys, like, we got this, and you got to lead them.
Mason, anything specific you've learned from not only Coach Lyons, but maybe a position coach, one of your coaches?
Really how to be resilient, especially this year, all that we've went through, all the obstacles that we've gone through, and, he's really taught us how to push through, keep our head down, and focus on what we need to accomplish, keep the main thing.
All right, Tyler, first, is anybody you want to say hi to? Any family, friends, girlfriend, anybody? Who do you want to say hi to here?
Oh, me, Mike.
Yeah, Tyler. Yep. I'm not sorry, Tyler.
Hi.
Mikey. Oh, sorry. Every week I make one mistake. Sorry. Mikey.
One?
One, yeah,
okay.
one.
I'd like to shout out to my parents and my sister, Maddie, and my grandparents, my Pap, my Gug, and my Gugga B.
There you go.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. How about you, Mason?
Shout out my mom, shout out my dad, shout out my little bros, shout out my grandpa, grandparent, everybody, all my family. You know who you are.
Beautiful. Okay, guys, you're seniors. I'll ask the same question again. What are your plans after your senior season? What are you going to do? School, work, continue the athletic career, or trade school, or what? Or what are you going to do after this year, Mikey? I got it right that time.
I plan on attending a 4-year college.
Okay.
I plan on studying civil engineering.
Beautiful.
And my top school right now is not officially, but most likely is Geneva College.
Okay, yeah.
And I really would like to play football there too as well.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit better. Got a lot of young kids on the team this year, so good. Mason, how about you?
I plan the same as Mike, go to a 4-year university, hopefully play football if that's possible, and right now I'm looking into architecture.
Beautiful.
Wow.
John, what do you got? We got about we got less than 2 minutes left.
These guys would beat me on the quizzes any day of the week. I mean, I can barely read and write, and these guys are going to be engineers and architects. And coming up this week, another big game. I mean, obviously every game's big this time of year. What kind of game are you expecting Friday night from Elizabeth Forward?
Well, I expect them. They're going to be on their A game just as we are, and both teams want to win. We want to make it to that championship game, and I just expect a down, hard, rough game, and I think we can pull through.
Mason, what do you think after seeing him on film Hill for a little bit this week?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely expecting a tough game. It's playoffs, semifinals, so they're going to come with their best. We're going to come with our best, and it's going to be a dog fight.
All right, guys, a little bit of time left. We've got Elwood City and South Park. We're going to have that on air Friday night, airtime 6:30, game time 7. Central Valley will be playing at Montour against Elizabeth Forward. We'll have reports on that game. Also, on Saturday night, we will have Clemson and Pittsburgh on air. We want to thank Pizza Joe's for everything they do for us. Guys, did you like Pizza Joe's? Did you like the pizza today?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah,
there you go.
amazing.
Pizza Joe's.
Thank you, Pizza Joe's.
There you go. How about that? We want to thank Mikey Bendekovic. We want to thank Stephen Rutherford, Mason Dixon, Tyler Andrusik. We want to thank head coach Mark Lyons, John Parada, as always. Thanks. You going to be here next week,
welcome.
or you on assignment next week?
I think I'll be here next week, as far as I know.
It's our last football week.
I mean, I hope. Yeah.
You should be here. And then we want to thank behind the scenes Ryan Garazunas. Again, 2 Beaver County teams left, and we hope they both move on. We'll find out Friday, and if so, we will talk about it next week on our show next week. Not sure who the guests will be next week. We're going to wait and see. But thank you to everybody, and one last time, go Warriors. Good night, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to the Coach's Corner right here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Carver Construction, the St. Barnabas Health System, Beaver County Career and Technology Center, Falcone's Moon Township Board, the YMCA, Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Keystone Wellness Program, Fried Transportation Group, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, the Community College of Beaver County, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Fat Boy Cigars, Geneva College, and Beaver County Radio.